oftentimes women are taught to play small from a very young age. Don't take up space. Be quiet. Sit nicely. That's not ladylike. So I would probably remind myself that it is okay to take up space, to be loud if you want to be loud, to be silly if you want to be silly, and to really just step into your wholeness. Don't be afraid to step into your wholeness. That, I think, would have changed so many things earlier on. I used to say, nobody will believe me now. I used to say, I'm a writer, not a talker. Girl, listen, that was me playing small. That was me being like, no, I can't be loud. No, I'll hide behind my book. No, I need to hide behind my book here. No, not anymore. We're here to take up space. We're here to speak about the things that matter and to make a positive impact on our world. So if we're going to take up space, man, woman, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing, right? If you're here to make a positive impact on the world, if you're leading with kindness, take up space.
Welcome to the Genius Talk podcast. I'm your host Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com, and today we have Shauna Van Mourik with us. Shauna,
Thank you for
thank you so
having
much
me.
for joining.
This is exciting. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah. So for our listeners who don't know you, can you tell them who you are and what do you do?
Absolutely. So who I am, you already said, it's Shauna Van Mourik, and I'm a brand and marketing specialist. I support coaches, therapists, and service-based pros with their marketing, with their branding. But here's the catch. I'm tired, just like you are, of the soul-sucking, outdated marketing advice that we've all grown up with. It is outdated and honestly just not fun anymore. So instead, I take a different approach and we look at it from a very heart-centered, soul-led, unique, grounded, reality-driven space where you can actually do what needs to be done while actually enjoying yourself. None of
Yes.
this post every day, dance in front of a camera, do this, do that, burn yourself out in the process. That's not where it's at. No thanks.
Okay. So can you walk us through your six-figure program and how does it different from other coaching programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea behind this is that it's a comprehensive program. It is a 5-step program that takes you from conception to sustainability. This isn't a magic bullet situation, okay? If you're looking for quick results, you've already got kind of a general concept of your business and your program developed. I have other things for that. I have something that's coming out called 15 Weeks to 15K. That's a whole different story that you can ask me about at another time. But this larger program, this is truly the most robust, never leave you hanging type of situation. We start out with your brand identity. We really get clear on what does it mean to be you within the construct of your business. We then move on to visibility, marketing, a plan with systems and processes that actually work with your life. Remember, we're building a business that will support our life, not the other way around. The third step there is about community. This is about building out your audience, making sure that you have people to actually sell to. The fourth stage is all about conversion. You've got the audience, let's convert them. And the fifth stage is all about sustainability. How can we keep this going in a way that feels good to us, supports our lifestyle, and we don't need to wonder whether we're going to, goodness, be able to eat next month, for crying out loud. Maybe it's not that drastic, but you understand what I'm saying. No more of this feast or famine type of ideas.
Can you share some stories of clients who have gone through your program?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's one client who I absolutely love who went through this program who just brings, okay, let me first of all clarify the type of person I am. I'm the person who can go to theme parks, and don't get me wrong, I love going to theme parks for the theme park. I like riding the rides, but I'm okay with going and watching other people ride the ride. It brings me joy to see somebody joyful. So in this circumstance, I'm just going to describe to you like the level of confidence and the awareness of self in such a capacity to be able to show up for yourself. Okay. So the first bit was, let's see, what is your actual brand? This person had a concept of their brand. They had their logo, their colors. They kind of had an idea of what they stood for. But when we took that and we put it into clear, concise words, when we gave them exactly what they needed to say, using their authentic intro statement in every situation when they're networking, when they're meeting a prospect for the first time, or perhaps a collaborator like you and I, they knew exactly what to say. And their whole body changed. The way they held themselves changed. And then I moved into the next phase where they were actually showing up. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much they did not want to write. They didn't want to do the articles. They didn't want to do the posts. They didn't want to do this, that, and the other. And I said, it's okay. We'll work with this. I'll give you the easiest possible way to do this while retaining your authenticity. We use AI. We use a number of other tools and templates to make sure that it's easy for you. And now they're showing up consistently every single month. They're getting people commenting on their articles saying, hey, how do I get in on this? They were blown away that just doing that alone it was sparking the interest. But see, the thing is, I live in reality. Creating a post, it's not a build it and they will come situation. That's not how it works. So when I taught them how to actually attend networking events in a way that's going to convert, how to reach out to prospects, partners, and platforms in a way that's actually going to get them in front of their ideal clients, and then how to really bring them in and convert them on those calls, that's where the magic happens. That's where we start going, oh, dang, I can do this. So this person went from charging about $110 per session for their coaching sessions to charging $8,500 for a program that goes on repeat. It's just, here I am. I'm at the fair. I keep saying fair, the theme park, and I'm watching her on this ride, just, I don't know, doing just having a good time. And it brings me so much joy. And now we're moving on to the point where, okay, we've made some sales. She's actually going into the next segment where we're actually able to make sales en masse, community growth, that sort of idea. So I'm excited for the next step.
Okay, so what are the common mistakes you see coaches make?
Coaches, when they're showing up in their branding and marketing, I could probably list a few if I'm being honest, but the most common mistake is playing copycat, is seeing some other coach, some other person who they think is successful and just copycatting it. Like this is not how you create an authentic brand. This is not how you show up in a way that is true to you and in a way that will connect with and attract and convert the people who were meant to work with you. I would say that's probably the biggest shift that I see happening when I'm working with my clients. And that's the biggest mistake they make because it's the first one, right? That's your foundation, your brand, how you show up, how you articulate what you do. That is your foundation. And if your foundation is weak, it doesn't matter what you do beyond that. You're going to fall over. You're going to topple. You're going to burn out. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest mistake that I see coaches doing in their branding and marketing.
So what's the best list building method you know, and you cannot talk about ads?
Okay, repeat the question again.
What's the best list building method you know, and you cannot talk about ads?
Great. You know what? And I'm happy to not talk about ads because I'm actually an organic marketer. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I know ads. They're cool. Right. For a certain demographic.
Yeah.
But the people who I'm working with, typically, they're not ready for ads anyways. So this is a great question. One of the best goodness. I want to give you a few because I'm all about gold nuggets. I'm all about giving people the tools that they need to succeed and absolutely not gatekeeping. So first of all, talk about it. Talk about it. Like literally, I know it sounds ridiculous. Create the post, create the story. When you go to a networking event, talk about the thing that you have, the resource that you have in order. I'm seeing your face and I'm wondering if I jumped ahead a couple of steps.
Nope.
You're talking about list building, have something to offer, have a lead magnet, make it be worth something, at least a $50 worth lead magnet, at least something that people really want and that they're willing to trade their information, their phone number, their email for that thing. And then talk about it. Then spread the word. Share it in your email, share it online, share it with your networking events. Make sure people know it exists because the thing that I see people do all the time is they create this amazing lead magnet. They have it in their back pocket. They don't use it. Nobody knows it exists. You're not going to build your list that way. The next thing I would say is what I said before about collaborators. Find more of them. Swap. Say, hey, I have this cool tool that I think your audience would really benefit from. Would you mind sharing it with them on socials, in your email list, whatever? I don't mind. And then, of course, keeping in mind, your collaborators should be somebody who's doing something parallel to you, serving a similar audience, but not doing the same thing as you. Right? So you want to make sure that you're able to benefit their audience just as much as they're able to benefit yours, because then you can say, hey, listen, I'm okay with doing the same thing. Let's swap.
Oh, can you give me some examples?
Absolutely. Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
actually just landed in my inbox doing exactly what I preach. She sent me this beautiful email saying, "Hey, really love what you're doing on," she did her research. "Love what you're doing on Marketing Rebels podcast. I love what you're doing with this particular offer and in all of your content. So amazing. I actually serve a very similar audience as you." And she says, "This is what I do." And it was particularly around coaching, but different than branding and marketing. She says, "Would you be up for promoting this particular resource to your list? Do you mind just sharing it? Just include it in your newsletter." And I was like, "That looks like a great resource." I check it out, right? Open it up, read through it. You know what? This is a great resource. My people would really benefit from this. Sure, no problem. I include it into my my newsletter for the week, shoot it out. And now, this is the coolest thing. This is called audience sharing. Now, this lady has thousands of new prospects in her lead gen space, right? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to audience sharing and really leveraging your lead magnet in an effective and efficient way.
Okay, so looking back when you started, what's one lesson you will tell yourself if you could restart today?
Oh, good question. When I first started, well, my journey actually started quite a while ago, like well over 10 years ago. And I actually started as a content creator, evolved into a copywriter, and then emerged into the branding and marketing space. So it was kind of an evolution. And I think all the way along my journey, there was this inclination to play small. And this is not uncommon for many of the people who I work with as well. Now, keeping in mind that I work with women, I'm not saying men don't experience this too. I'm just saying that oftentimes women are taught to play small from a very young age. Don't take up space. Be quiet. Sit nicely. That's not ladylike. So I would probably remind myself that it is okay to take up space, to be loud if you want to be loud, to be silly if you want to be silly, and to really just step into your wholeness. Don't be afraid to step into your wholeness. That, I think, would have changed so many things earlier on. You know, I used to say, nobody will believe me now. I used to say, "I'm a writer, not a talker." Girl, listen, that was me playing small. That was me being like, "No, no, I can't be loud. No, no, I'll hide behind my book. No, I need to hide behind my book here." No, no, not anymore. We're here to take up space. We're here to speak about the things that matter and to make a positive impact on our world. So yeah, not only would I tell myself that, but all of you listening, freaking take up space. Man, woman, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing, right? If you're here to make a positive impact on the world, if you're leading with kindness, take up space. Yeah, I think that's the message.
Okay, so for our listeners who want to connect with you, want some help from you, where can they go?
Probably the best place to go would be my website. It's www.shaunalee.com, SHAUNALEIGH. That link is probably going to be in the show notes. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the best place to go. If you go there, you're going to find the links to all of my socials. You'll be able to contact me in whatever way feels best to you. I'm on just about every platform. So if you go to my site, you'll be able to find me anywhere.
By the way, you also do done for you services, right? Yeah, can you tell me, tell our listener who is that for?
Absolutely. So it's the same type of demographic, but perhaps in a different space. So my business is actually separated into two different spaces. The first one, of course, I just described to you is more of a coaching and consulting done with you scenario. The other side is done for you. This is agency-esque. It's like an agency, and I'll explain to you why it's not entirely an agency. In this space, we're doing organic marketing. We're creating your blogs, your emails, your social, your graphics, everything that you need in that space. We'll even create your lead magnets, whatever you need to support your marketing endeavors. And we do that month over month on a retainer. The difference between the way we do this and the way some other agencies, true agencies, do this is that we actually kind of handcuff you to us in such that, I know that sounds horrible, but what I mean is that you can't just ghost. You can't just say, "Make this," and then bugger off. You are invested in this just as much as I am, because I am invested in it. I am stuck in it. I want you to succeed. And so I grapple you and I say, "Okay, every month," don't get me wrong, I'm not going to make you do all the work. Like, that's not what it's for. We're doing the work, right? But every month we're going to meet up. I'm going to explain to you, here are the numbers. Here's what they mean. Here's my suggestion for moving forward, depending on what the numbers say, your analytics, right? For what we put out into the world. We're going to discuss, where are you going with your business? Is it status quo? Or are you making some subtle changes that you need to reflect early on to make sure that as your business grows, your marketing also grows with you? I recently did that with one of my clients who is a therapist, but also wanted to break into the coaching world. And so we need to shift some of her language in her posts to make sure that we were on the right track for when she launched her workshop. Because if we didn't do that, then it would have been a shock to our audience's system. She has a good audience. We don't want to
Mhm.
all of a sudden be like, oh, I am a therapist. I work with this. And then all of a sudden, oh, I've got this workshop and I'm a coach, by the way. That doesn't track well for your audience. So it's really important to have that open communication. These meetings can be as short as 20 minutes or as long as an hour, depending on the types of changes that you foresee in your business. It keeps you invested in what's going on. It keeps you in tune with what's happening with your audience, following that invisible hand, your market. So not many agencies will take the time to sit with you and to really dive into what's going on with you. Because most of my clients are also women, we also talk about things like, oh, I'm planning on having it, not me, I'm done. But they're planning on having a child. What does this look like for our marketing? Because things change.
Yep.
So it's a bit deeper. It's very human centered, human led.
Mhm.
I hope that answers your question. I know I went into detail.
Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to share?
Goodness, I have all the things to say. You know what? I just want everybody to reflect on what I said earlier about taking up space, about making a positive change in the world. I believe that there are people out there, like if you're hesitating right now, because I know it can be scary to show up. I know, I get it. I've been there, right? But there are people out there in this world, in this beautiful world, who are sitting on their hands waiting to hear what you have to say. They don't know it yet. You don't know it yet, really. But when they hear it, when you actually step out there and say it, they'll know. And you could literally change somebody's life. So don't hold back. Take up space. Show up for yourself, for your business, for the world. And lead with kindness.
Okay, Sona, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for spending some time with us. And it was really fun chatting with you.
It was a joy. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep.